Warthen. I'm a Unix admin for the R&D department. Basically, as they say, developers need superheroes. NetApp, the ONTAP OS. Basically, my primary use case is we have different VMs, both Windows and Unix, and they share file systems for compiling code. And basically, the big advantage with the NetApp is the ability to follow Linux symlinks in the Windows environment. For me and my users, the biggest value right now is the ability to mask Unix accounts to Linux accounts. Well, basically when I came on board, we had a NetApp. The ONTAP was old, and the system is pretty much end of life. And corporate wasn't sure which way they're going to go, and so they couldn't quite make a decision on whether to buy a very large unit or a small unit, because we were going to become a central hub. They decided to scrap that, and so therefore then it landed in my lap what to choose. So I decided to go with a smaller NetApp that would fit the main requirements that I needed a NetApp for, and use other type of storages for VMware. And basically what it is my volumes that are NFS and CIFS. There's a lot of stuff that's used both on Windows and Unix, so I need to be able to maintain the permissions between the two. So I get better security with ONTAP. I get better control of users' space requirement because I have queue trees and quotas, and then I have the masking of user accounts, NIS to AD. And then the other thing that's a really good bonus is that ONTAP hasn't deprecated NIS, and a lot of other vendors are deprecating NIS. Critical applications, they're not as critical as like you normally expect, because I am R&D and it is a production environment for R&D, but I have time to be able to recover. I can recover for daily, hourly from snaps. Everything else I recover from tape backup, because my backup uses NDMP, and it'll be just as fast as snap, and storage is cheaper. It hasn't reduced, but it's more cost effective, because the very specific requirements, a lot of other storages don't quite, they drop the ball basically, especially when it comes to user account translation from Unix to Windows. Basically, ONTAP and EMC, I believe, are the only two real vendors that know how to do it properly. Stability is perfect because I got 2 nodes. I'm not overloading the nodes because, again, it's just R&D and it's a very specific volumes. So it's a lot of terabytes, but we're not in like petabytes. So for what I'm doing, it's very stable. The scalability is perfectly fine. Right now I only have the 2 nodes, 1 shelf. I'll be able to easily upgrade additional shelves. They gave me plenty of cabling to, when I got the unit. So all I have to do is disconnect and reconnect the cabling. And that's it. Tech support's been pretty awesome. The only thing is 9.4 has been presenting a couple of challenges. And there's been, like one case, for example, is I didn't want snaps. There's a command to disable the scheduler, but with 9.4 that command doesn't quite work. So I ended up using a workaround, which is basically telling the scheduler that you have 0 snap capability on all snap jobs. The initial installation could have been quite easy, but there was a lot of miscommunications with professional services. And there's a lot of details that they didn't quite provide, so therefore it led to me in a very complicated installation. Right now I'm barely migrating over, but I'm getting about 2-to-1 ratio on dedupe. I know on my backup right now I'm getting about 9-to-1, so I'm hoping as time progresses I'll get a higher dedupe ratio. The ONTAP operating system, I'd grade it as a 10. It's very easy to use. What I really like about it is it incorporates the same thing as CentOS and RHEL 7, which is the tab commands. So if you have an idea of what commands you want to use, you can tab through and kind of pretty much figure out what you need without having to go and look for the full syntax. Well, the return on ONTAP right now on that is a lot of the Windows builds have been failing simply because when they go through the file system, they can't file the symbolic links that are created on the Linux file system. Now they will resolve because ONTAP supports that.